Hey guys, end of season boy, and welcome to Buckmore Park for the last Club 100 race of this year. So this race is a bit different from all the ones we've had so far because I know this track. I've been here a couple of times. In fact, it's the first track I ever drove on in a kart earlier on this year in April. In that race, I was totally not carried to a class win in the 24 hour, but we won't talk about that. I've got my trophy at home, so it doesn't matter. This will be the first time driving here in a kind of quick kart, in the Club 100 kart. Luckily, I've got a couple of races under my belt now, so I kind of know how it handles and what to expect from it. And I'm hoping, because of that, and it being a circuit that I know, I'll be up to speed a lot quicker than I have been at previous tracks. So confidence-wise, I come off a bit of a high from Red Lodge. Whilst the second race didn't go to plan, the pace was definitely there and we were kind of comfortably in the mid-pack. So that's kind of where I want to be starting off, hopefully, in today's races. I mean, first race is in about an hour or so time, so we've got the Enduro guys going around at the moment. So my priority is to get out there and basically just learn the different braking points and acceleration points of this car and get that done quickly, because as soon as I do that, I can then focus on getting lap time. Also, I have to thank you guys again for comments, given that I'm a frequent spinner. I've been told that I should lift up the car and push it around instead of trying to do an Austin Powers with it. So thank you for that. That's hopefully going to save me some time, but hopefully I won't spin. So same deal as last time. We're racing in the Sprint 60 races, which is 2 half-hour races, not doing the Enduro again. I've got to say that I've been kind of enjoying doing the Sprint 60 races. It's much more focused on one driver and your own performance. It's kind of a good chance for me to learn on my own, because whilst having Steve there to kind of mentor me, it's been quite invaluable. It's also been good to kind of learn from my own mistakes and kind of understand it better rather than having someone tell me. So I'll be in the lightweights again, which is hilarious because I'm not lightweight. I've been trying to lose a bit of weight actually, so hopefully I'm a bit closer to the 75 kilos. It's going to be another sad shot of me on the scales again. Got to say, I feel a little bit intimidated, kind of standing in front of the legend that is John Surtees. Maybe I can try and, I don't know, channel some of the talent. A lot of channeling to do for that, bloody hell. Okay, cool. Well, I'm joined right now by JV, who's big boss of Club 100. Lots of really cool stuff going on next year, JV. I'm sure you want to tell everyone about it. So
yeah. Oh, crikey. Okay. Right. So next year, yes, we have got quite a lot going on next year. We've released the dates. We're looking at again 11 rounds, and we're going to 9 separate circuits out of the 11 rounds. We're going to pretty much be repeating what we've done this year. Yeah. We're getting a hell of a lot of inquiries. A lot of new people. Yeah. A lot of new people coming on board, I think, for next year as well. So we're also launching a brand new championship next year, Jimmy, which is going to be specifically for young drivers, age range 14 to 18-year-olds. And it's going to be called the Young Drivers Championship with a YDC abbreviated. Yes, yeah. Well, we tried to think up of something funky, but we thought, listen, it does what it says on the packet, if you like. So lower weight categories, 7 rounds, kicks off the end of April through till the beginning of October. Going to be Sunday afternoons. Everything about that championship is going out next week. So get on the Facebook, get on the Instagram and the Twitter, and indeed it's going to go up on the website as well, together with a video. Yeah, maybe not quite as good as yours, but it is a video telling you. Yeah, it's a video telling you all about it. We've also got a couple of exciting announcements to make as well, which I can't tell you right now. But it's going to come. It's going to come very soon. Very, very soon.
I'm waiting for my exclusive, right?
There you go. You will get an exclusive, Jimmy. I promise you that.
Well, I'm looking forward to coming next year and hopefully not doing as badly.
Good. Good stuff.
Cheers, Jimmy.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Cheers, Jimmy. Bye, everyone.
Do well today. It's pretty much dry out there.
Yeah.
A bit easier.
Sounds a bit skatey off the line though.
Yeah, I mean you do really well. I watched the Red Lodge video.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah,
I love that hacking and tuning.
You've got to do it, man. Right, wasn't it? So as is the format of Club 100, practice is also qualifying, and although I was really confident going into the session, I must say that I struggled a lot. I was really having a tough time getting the tyres up to temperature and just finding speed on quite a cold and quite a slippy surface, and that confidence that I had coming out of Red Lodge very quickly disappeared. tricky. This, I thought I'd be up to pace a bit quicker, but really not. I'm really sliding around a lot. Really quite tricky to get any sort of power down. It's very slippy offline. And of course, I've only ever driven these in those 4-stroke things. I'm trying the same thing I did there. It's just not working. So quite a bit quicker towards the end. I expect to be quite near the back on the grid, but you know, that's how the series goes now. Last to first challenge, easy. Well, first things first, it is slippery out there, very slippery, and like I was having real trouble understanding when the tyre was going to slip or when I was going to make a mistake, etc. But I'm 2 seconds off the fastest time, about 1.5 seconds off Ryan, which I got to say is a bit gutting because I was trying to be a bit close to him this time around, but yeah, it's just not happening. I'm not sure where it is. I think some of it's in the hairpins, a lot of it's in the hairpins I think. I'm not last, but I'm about 5 off the back, so we can only go forward of course, but it's quite a bit of a knock in the confidence after Red Lodge, but it's all learning, so should be okay. Yeah, just going forward I guess, but looking forward to it. I like Buckmore, and if anything it gives me a chance to follow people who are a bit quicker than me, and maybe I can learn some lines and learn some braking zones, etc. But I'm hoping that we get dry weather, because behind you, Steve, is a rather menacing looking cloud. Race too wet maybe. Hopefully not though. Maybe I'll be better in the wet. I'm heavier. So the worst thing is counting the carts to see which one I'm in. That's the one right at the back. It's not great, not great. I just felt a spot of rain. Oh no. Oh Jesus.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. So at the start of the race I was quite impatient and tried going past the cart in front almost instantly on the inside, which was actually quite slippy, and because of that I went wide, lost a place and then put myself in a bad position for the first hairpin. This of course meant I lost even more positions, which is terrible for me considering that I pretty much started at the back already, going well so far. But being behind people wasn't a bad thing at the start of the race, because it meant I can get into a rhythm a little bit easier and start really finding the speed in the car and in the track, and before I knew it I was on the back of the pack again. To make up a few positions, but then a slight mistake coming down the hill towards the hairpin that opened the door for cart number 60 behind me in the red, who very much took the position. At the time I put my hand up in frustration, but really it was my fault for leaving the door open, and of course as a result I was on the outside for the hairpin. Same thing happened again, push wide. I ended up losing 3 positions in total, which was pretty frustrating for me at the time. Put me in a bit of a tricky position because I was behind 3 carts that were fighting for positions, so I was just losing time waiting for them to sort things out. Then down to the hairpin, again a scene of a lot of action during this race. They came together and I had nowhere to go. Watch this again in slow motion, you can see just how much this impact moved me in the car. I was quite surprised when I watched back this footage, and bear in mind that the camera is mounted to my helmet, and at one point I'm about 90 degrees to my feet. So yeah, I really had a big impact here, and it wasn't until after the race that I really started feeling the effects of it. You could argue of course that if I had not made the mistakes earlier in the race that I wouldn't be in this position, but it was quite annoying to have my race position yet again dictated by somebody else's mistake. The upside though to all this is that somehow after the incident my kart felt like it was a little bit faster, and I actually managed to stay with the leaders for a while when they were lapping me, which is much to my surprise as well. So my advice in the future for anyone karting is get into a crash first, then you'll go quicker. Don't actually do that, right? sorry guys, you missed the start because I've got to turn the GoPro on until I was halfway around the first lap because I'm clever, don't worry. Nothing really happened, don't worry. I got it. Good, so Steve's got it. So another frustrating one. I had good pace, the kart was quite quick, and coming down the bottom I was chasing two guys, they got into each other and spun and basically blocked the road, and I was coming far too quick to do anything. Hit the brake, spun, had a big hit. I think I might have hurt my rib a bit, and because it's stinging just afterwards. And then turned around and the kart was quicker after that. So yeah, I mean, in terms of qualifying, I mean, even my kart was bad or I was just really slow, but it was about, how much quicker was it? About a second and a half faster, my race lap there, than my qualifying lap. So yeah, the time was there again, it's just annoying. We ended up in but I think it's 27? Let's have a look. Yeah, P27 after starting P31 and having a spin. So, I mean, if you look at the lap times around me, like, I should have at least been 25th, 24th, maybe a bit higher than that, but it's the way it goes sometimes. Again, we know we're quick for the second race, so hopefully it stays dry, although it doesn't look like it's going to. Definitely the most physical circuit, because the way to go fast is going over the curbs, and the curbs are bumpy. And you have to wrestle it down the hill as well to make sure you stay kind of in a straight line. I think I have hurt my rib though, I can feel it underneath, and now the adrenaline's starting to wear off, so maybe the first crap rib of karting, who knows. Right then, so just in the glamorous paddock between races right now, you might notice the skies have darkened slightly, and according to my website app thing, that's a really old man thing there, my weather app, it says it's raining right now. It's not at the moment, but just in case, I do have my very fashionable full body condom that should hopefully keep me dry. If it does rain, I've driven here in the rain before, I got okay towards the end, but we're starting to see that I need laps to get quick, and going from a dry circuit into a wet one could be quite scary. Hopefully it will stay dry for just a bit longer. Come on, please, UK, come on.
Rare Japanese start speed, lightweight drivers, please get the circle.
The second race was pretty much as eventful as the first, with it being 3 wide all the way down to the first hairpin. The spinning guy in front, however, opened up the field a little bit and meant that I lost a couple of places to people who chose the inside line, as I lost momentum having to slow down for the guy facing the wrong way. Being forced wide by the fella in front, I was still a bit quicker than him on track, so a couple of laps later I tried to line him up coming out the hairpin. I find it interesting that because he pushed me off, I had a different attitude towards that guy on circuit. It wasn't one of malice, it was more of, okay then, if you're going to be aggressive, so am I, and that attitude seems to really work in karting. So I figured, hell, if that attitude worked once, then, well, let's try it again. But the guy behind wouldn't give up so easily. If you look very carefully to the left-hand side of the screen, just as I come out of the second hairpin, you can just see him pull alongside for a split second, but I had the better exit and was able to take the line going into the far chicane. And if having to defend wasn't enough for my mind to contend with, it was starting to rain. Of course, as the rain came down, we all had to start adjusting our lines to try and keep off that rubber that had built up over the course of the race so far, and it meant that it became a little bit of a free-for-all, especially when you factor in that we were being lapped at the same time, so it got pretty hectic for a lap or so. I was repassed by the 34 kart in front for position, and coming onto the final lap I thought, you know what, it's now or never, I gotta go for it.
Well, that rounds out the last race of the season, Club 100. I only joined towards the end of it, but I felt like I learned a lot, especially when you look back at Lid and how that went, and then, of course, Clay, and then Red Pigeon, Red Lodge went a bit better. See, I know the track names. I think what I need to kind of take away from it is that the pace is getting better. It's just time. All the people I've spoken to have just said, you know, when I started, I was down where you were. It's just a matter of putting in more time, more laps, and just getting more familiar with the surroundings and how karts work. You know, I mean, I've recently had the pleasure of driving at Assen in a car, and I found that I'm much more suited to that than I am to this, but that doesn't mean I can't get better at karts. You know, definitely sim racing coming in handy there. Of course, I have to say a thank you to JV from Club 100. He invited me along to this and kind of let me race and learn the hard way. And although he had to slap me on the wrist a couple of times, of course, and been a bit of a hindrance sometimes, but it's been a good learning experience. And of course, Steve, behind the camera, he's been working on these videos relentlessly in his free time. And of course, when he was on holiday as well. Guy's a madman, if you ask me, but this series wouldn't happen without him. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, do all the good things, and hopefully see you next time for another season of Club 100 goodness. Take care, have an awesome day. See you next time.